somebody mentioned the holy instant. Yes. So, that's there for us, and that is, the power of now. Right, being here right now with an open mind. And these are the opportunities we're getting, is to empty the mind of, the blocks to the awareness of the presence of love, and experience the holy instant. So I experience that, when I allow myself to go into meditation, one point focus, which is, if you like, the Holy Spirit kind of gives us that message about, the time. And then there's one point focus, which is just, is the other world, is the real world. That just one point focus in that holy instant is where it is, and that's what meditation is defined as, one point focus. So we will get glimpses of the truth as we surrender, because that's kind of what I see meditation as, surrendering blocks to love and just being present in the moment. And we are entitled to the happy dream, which is great, isn't it? So I just read two little things then before we finish up and go into the meditation, and see if we can allow ourselves to surrender. And then, some hands put out here. Okay. Just what we were talking about earlier, okay, and the thoughts and the law of attraction, isn't that what it's called? Law of attraction, yeah, just about a line there, and understanding through the course's teachings that it really is the law of distraction. That's what we're doing to ourselves. Having these idols in our life, which is actually blocking true happiness. In the world of scarcity, love has no meaning, and peace is impossible. For gain and loss are both accepted, and so no one is aware that perfect love is in him. In the holy instant, you recognize the idea of love in you, and unite this idea with the mind that thought it, and could not relinquish it. By holding it within itself, there is no loss. The holy instant thus becomes a lesson in how to hold all of your brothers in your mind, experiencing loss, not experiencing loss, but completion. From this it follows you can only give, and this is love. For this alone is natural under the laws of God. In the holy instant, the laws of God prevail, and only they have meaning. The laws of this world cease to hold any meaning at all. When the Son of God accepts the laws of God as what he gladly wills, it is impossible that he be bound or limited in any way. In that instant, he is as free as God would have him be. For the instant he refuses to be bound, he is not bound. In the holy instant, nothing happens that has not always been. Only the veil that has been drawn across reality is lifted. It's beautiful, isn't it?
What page is that, please, Mary?
That's Course in Miracles, page 315, the holy instant and the laws of God.
Thank you.
The laws of God, no other laws. And, the holy instant, what's available for us there is moving, through the illusion from the dream that we're in to having this understanding and using the principles of Course in Miracles. We can actually have the happy dream. So if you just bear with me for a second, I found this and I didn't get to mark it. See where am I drawn to read to finish this up on what we were talking about. Okay. Happy dreams come true. That's good news, isn't it? Not because they are dreams, but only because they are happy. And so they must be loving. Their message is, thy will be done, and not, I want otherwise. happy dream can come true. So, everybody okay? Isn't it all wonderful news? It really is. You know, we have this available to us. You know, and we can share it with ourselves first. Offer it to ourselves first. You know, this love that we are, this peace that we are. And as we offer it and give it, because that's its only purpose. I remember writing this thing before for myself, and that was love is for and dash giving. You know, love is for giving. Forgiveness is love. Love is that's when we give love, we're forgiving. Love is forgiving. That's its purpose. That's what it is. It doesn't know anything else. It doesn't need anything else. So as soon as we're seeking outside ourselves, that's when we know we're lost again. What it's saying, you know, we have the ideas, the principles of the Course of Miracles are there to help us back and return to the truth of who we are. Whereas God created us, we are the light of the world. We are perfect happiness. That's God's will for us. We need to choose it, allow it. That's all we need to do. Isn't that amazing to find that out? And we can choose it and allow it by recognizing that we have that ability to choose again when we're not feeling it. Choose again, brother, Jesus says. That's all we have to do. So, and when we are in that place of undoing, let yourself be real with yourself. You know, the ego wants to hide it. That's what we really found out. You know, it wants to hide it. It doesn't want anyone to see, because if anybody sees that part of myself, they won't accept me. You know, I'll be rejected and abandoned the way I feel that I have done to God. So because I have done it, I think it's going to happen, but that's not real. That's the good news. So as soon as we allow ourselves to be ourselves, and we'll get lots of opportunities for that, not to reject ourselves, you know, not to reject ourselves, to allow ourselves to be in that experience, being annoyed at somebody, being angry at somebody, being upset, feeling the victim. You know, we're going to feel all those things that's there. We're going to feel them, but that's good news. And as soon as we let go of that judgment of ourselves, we're free. Because it's our own judgment, it's our own guilt, it's nobody else's. You know, people say, you know, I want people to like me more. You know, love thy neighbour as thyself, isn't that right? How are you loving yourself? You know, and it's that's what the open mind is. It's letting the judgments drop down, letting them lose their power, the fear. And let yourself be whatever you are. It's a great place to be. Because, you know, what happens is, you know, because some theories say, you know, whoever is supposed to be in your life, they'll be in your life, you'll learn the lesson from them, and they say then the people that is, you know, judging you or not loving you will move away, you know, kind of thing. But it's, you know, it's being responsible for that as well. You know, okay, I'm better off without them in my life. Do you know, that's not the truth of that. The truth of that is everything is in your own mind. So whatever you're seeing is in your own mind. So if they move away out of your own mind, then you're in the love now. You understand? So I've seen it work in my life and in other people's lives. People just, you know, can still be in your life, but you're seeing yourself through them in a different way. You're perceiving in a different way. I just want to give an example. This is coming up. This woman was telling me about her husband. and she came to talk to me, and she said, he sits on the couch every night, watches the TV, the remote in his hand, and picks his nose with the other hand. She said, she said, he is driving me mad. I don't know how I'm going to cope or live with this person any longer, and he's doing it on purpose. He knows I don't like it. I keep asking him to stop, and he keeps doing it. So we just decided to work along and do the work or whatever we're supposed to be doing, the undoing as best we can. And then probably about 4 weeks later, I never mentioned it again. And 4 weeks later I said to her, how's the husband? And she said, grand. And I said, is he still picking his nose? And she went, she had to think about it. So what she thought was the worst thing in her life that was causing her pain, she wasn't seeing it anymore. Do you get that? Mm-hmm. She actually looked down to the ground, and we're always learning. That was such a great lesson for me, because I didn't know what she was going to say. But she was looking down thinking, is he still picking his nose? I don't know, actually. Can't remember. So that's the healing, isn't it? The healing is in our perception, from false perception to true perception. So it's, having that responsibility for everything in our lives, and that's so empowering. It really is so empowering. It's so empowering to know there's only one mind. It's so empowering to know how I perceive myself is my responsibility. And I will perceive myself and see myself through others. But when I'm responsible for it, somebody's not being nice to me, and I be responsible for that. Say, oh, so that's what I think of myself today. So that was hidden there. That's where it's at, type of thing, And that's very empowering. It's very free. It's very liberating. Because how I feel about myself, how I love myself is my responsibility. And, that's where that word conducive comes in, that word congruent, that word as well. Congruency, is being in alignment with what is congruency. So if I'm saying I love myself and somebody is kicking me on the shin, well, I'm not really congruent with that. Look, I have a problem. I'm giving Mary a lift to town every day to work, right? It's about 20 minutes out of my way. So this is Paddy giving Mary a lift to work. And he says, it's about 20, 25 minutes out of my way. She asked me and I said yes. And, I'm fed up with doing this. I'm doing it for 6 months now. I'm late for work. I'm in bad humour. It takes for a while to come out, and I'm there. Some mornings she leaves me waiting 10 minutes. It's causing me so much hassle and problems. I'm just sick of it. And I said, did you tell Mary? How does Mary feel about this? And he said, well, I haven't told her, no. So, you see, he was offering his services incongruently. So he wasn't at peace with himself. He wasn't 100% in alignment with his choice.
He was probably afraid to say no as well.
Absolutely.
The fear of saying no.
Fear of saying no, all that. He was afraid to say no. He was afraid of being rejected, abandoned. That's what that means. Like, that person will leave my life.
If I don't do
If I
such
don't.
and such.
But you have that person in your life. They're there for you. They are in your mind. You see? So thinking that I want to hold on to this person, so as I say, keep saying yes, so I keep this person in my life, is the trick. Which means you're pretending you're loving yourself by keeping that person in your life by saying yes to them, but you're not. You're actually doing the complete opposite.
And that's where your attachments come in as well.
That's the
you're
attachment.
attached
To the specialness.
Yeah, or the person or the situation.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it just rules you.
Yes. And he thought he was allowing happiness for himself, but he was allowing the opposite because he wasn't congruent with it. Right? So what I said to him was, what do you want then? Well, I want to be more peaceful going into work. You know? Sure, the girl at reception says good morning, and I said, good morning. You know, I'm just so frustrated and angry and, you know, all this sort of stuff. So obviously with the Course in Miracles and the work that I do, I always bring that in. So this is an opportunity. You're seeing how you really feel. That's there anyway. And this false idea of happiness is only making it worse. So what do I need to do? I said, well, be true to yourself. You know, make this choice with love for you and see what happens. Well, how do you think you could actually make this choice and love yourself? Make it, you know, out of fear, or out of love, not fear. So he thought for a while. I said, I don't really, you know, want to let Mary down. But at the same time, every morning, you know, and I don't know how she's going to take it if I say no. Well, I said, how about if it's whatever way she takes it, you know, it'll be okay for you. So think about it, I said to him. And he came back and he said, I've really thought about what you said, and you know, gosh, I do feel that I am responsible for my own happiness here. You know, I'm the one that's saying yes, so I have to be responsible for that yes, not Mary. So he said, I thought about it, and to be realistic and for my peace, I can give her a lift 3 mornings a week. I can handle that. So my next step now is to tell Mary. And you know, invariably, and I've heard this so many times, and you know, he goes and he tells Mary, and Mary says, why didn't you tell me? He says, like, it's just causing a bit of hassle, you know, I need the other 2 mornings just, you know, to take it easier and stuff like that. She said, you should have told me. So that's invariably what happens, and that's what happened to him. And because he 100% committed to giving her the lifts to work congruently for 3 mornings a week, he was taking responsibility for his happiness then. So he wasn't projecting it onto Mary or the receptionist or whomever got his way when he was trying to get to work. Isn't that good? When you think about it that way. But the other thing is, what I said to him is, which is important for us to do, like, is, you know, not to be afraid about how Mary's going to take it. Because that's just fear. If you're doing it out of love, then usually it'll be, you know, it will be okay. But if Mary, as they say, slams the door and says, you're selfish, you're not thinking of me, then, you know, take a deep breath and say, okay, I need to be responsible for this. And then as soon as, it's just another opportunity to grow. That's the way I see it. It's just another level of this experience you've set up for yourself, to either use it to crucify yourself, the crucifixion, or set yourself free. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
That's good.
And that seems to be the choice, in the only choice ever in all those situations is either to crucify yourself or free yourself, depending on which way you're perceiving. And if you're coming from love or fear.
Where am I deciding from? That was the big lesson, you know, for me, was where am I deciding from? Where am I making this choice from? Fear or love? And that I am my own prisoner, you know, I'm the prisoner of my own mind, of my own choices that I'm making. That's it. I'm the prisoner of the choices I'm making. He was a prisoner of the choice he made, so he set himself free.
I think there's a lot of conditioning though, particularly growing up in school, and again, go back to Catholic religion, about yourself, about being selfish and not to put yourself first, and to, you know, it puts people into those situations along the way.
Yeah. And you
Guilt.
find
Guilt.
Yes,
Guilt.
It's always guilt.
Yeah.
I've noticed that just looking at different things in my life now from the Course in Miracles, and I always get it back. It always comes back to guilt. That's the trick what I learned as well. Like, you know, I could be working in a situation and being, you know, everything's going lovely and I'm feeling fine, and then but the test is when you're screaming at something, or something's going wrong, or you're in pain, or whatever you might be using. It's try and be there for yourself then as well. You know? So I'll love you if you're this. That's conditional love, isn't it? So they're the tests that we get. Anybody want to say anything? So, no?
I just feel that
Don't fall asleep.
for myself, that, you know, what you've been saying is, I really needed to hear a lot of what you've been saying today.
Right.
This thing is screaming at myself. And
Mm.
something Anne-Marie said earlier, like, that really struck a chord with me is so wanting to be the victim or be a victim, and getting caught up with that. Like, it's not fair, it's not fair.
Mhm. So say that again, Kevin, being the victim of being the victim. Like
Well,
it says
it's-
in the course, we're the victimizer and the victim, is that what you're saying?
Well, it's a little bit like I would see what Joe was saying earlier, like that the ego can be so clever that you're doing something like this and you're not doing it to some preconceived standards, so now you can use that as a mechanism to beat yourself up.
Yeah. And we're so good at that, aren't we?
Well, I seem to be pretty good at it.
So am I. And I needed to hear it all today as well.
Mm.
You know, the stuff will come up. You know, these opportunities will present themselves. That's what I found. You know, so I laughed. I remember I was listening to a teacher back a while ago, and she was saying, and I thought it was so funny because I genuinely didn't think this at the time, way back in the day, and I was asking God into my life. And she said, I was listening to this tape, I was doing my ironing, and I was thinking, great, you know, I'm asking God into my life. This is cool. And I was waiting for God to come into my life, and I was thinking God was exactly the way she put it was. I can't remember her words, but my words was, I thought when I asked God into my life, everything would light up. And seriously, I thought, you know, there'd be angels in the corner singing and playing music for me, you know, and that it would all happen like that. But she said, if you invite God into your life, expect your world to be turned upside down.
Yes.
That's what's happening since we started this.
Yeah.
And I'm making it sound like it's the worst thing that I've ever done, but it's not. But it's just that you're really looking deeply now at everything, and it does turn your
Doesn't
world
it?
upside down.
Because
Then you get
you can
confused
really-
and
If you really want to do the work, you're going to have to empty that bank. You know, you're going to have to look at it and feel it and hand it over to the Holy Spirit, because that's his job. So of course I thought to myself, well, I'll wait another while. If that's the case, you know, that's what we're saying. We're saying, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, we can do it. We are doing it. We are remembering. We are remembering. And the reason we're here is that we want to. That we have the little willingness. Okay, is that all right? So thank you.